flavoring, winter wheat, 16% is used. The last ingredient is malted barley. We're going to use 14%. We take the 3 grains, they're ground in one at a time in our roller mill on the side over there. We use a roller mill. The other distilleries don't anymore. They use a hammer mill. The hammer mill is very fast at grinding your grains. It has a problem though. It grinds them really fast, but it produces heat. If that heat reaches your grains, you're going to scorch them, and then you carry that flavoring in your product with you. We don't want any scorching of our grains, so we use an old-time roller mill that's very slow in the grinding process, so we don't scorch them at any time. So to gain that title, there is a starter to every batch that we're making here. The starter is where you take a portion from yesterday's batch and bring it into today's batch. It is very similar to making a sourdough bread in a sense that you take from the old one and bring it into the new one. Ferments in there for at least 3 days until it gets to an alcohol content. We're going to walk into the fermentation next, and when we're finished, we'll come back in here. I'll tell you about the still in the corner, and I'll tell you about the pastry copper tank. We're going to go in the fermenting room to see. Process of fermentation, and then I'll give you a chance to look around in this room. The vats in this room are 12 foot deep. If you look down the side, you're barely going to see the bottom of the vat. Wood is cypress. The status of these vats, most of them are 100 years old. We're the only distillery that uses them now. Everybody else has gone to using stainless steel. They use stainless steel because it's easier to maintain them. We use our cypress steel because we're trying to carry tradition on here. We pump from our cooker from the other room in there to the large piping above to the middle pipe. There's a flow off of that in for those 4, a flow off of this in for these 4. Then to dump your cooking mixture in, you're going to add your starter from your old batch and 150 gallons of yeast. The yeast that we use is Mr. Samuel's secret recipe. It's called a jug yeast. At that time, we will stir the mixture up. After the stirring process is complete, a natural process of fermentation happens. What happens during fermentation is the yeast works with the sugar and converts it over to alcohol. It takes 3 days before you gain an alcohol content. During the 3 days, there's no heating, no cooling, and no stirring. Everything happening in this room is totally natural. When it reaches 3 days old, it's called a distiller's beer. It's at a beer stage. In a sense, it's 11% alcohol and does taste somewhat like a flat beer. At that stage, it is stirred up, pumped out from the bottom of the vat, and sent to the still. These vats hold 9,300 gallons of mash. Once we distill it, we only gain 1,100 gallons of alcohol, making only 19 barrels of Maker's Mark. There is a lot left over. What is left over is the grainy portion we're seeing here on top. This is called spent beer. It has no alcohol in it, but it's really high in protein. We sell it to the local dairy farmers and they feed it to their cattle. The cattle seem to really appreciate it. The other part of the mixture is the thinner part that has some of the yeast strain in it. We carry it back into the new batch as the starter. Now after the vats have been emptied, we steam clean them for an hour, then we whitewash. We take lime and water, mix it together, spray it on the inside of these vats, and that breaks down acid buildup left over from your grains, so you can use them again.
Several vats in here, all in different stages. Like wooden barrels. Hot in there. This is where it's fermenting and cooking.
That in there, we're going to pump it out. We're sending it to the still in the corner. The still in the corner is 5 stories high. What you're seeing right now is just the bottom 2 sections only. It's copper. In the top of the still, there's a beer heater. The beer heater heats up the mixture, changes the alcohol from a liquid into a vapor. It's going to come down through the still through 16 plates that have very small perforated hose in them. From the bottom, we take steam from the boiler house out back and send it up through the small hose. The mash comes down and flows over top of the plates. The alcohol rises at a lower temperature than water, so the water vapors push the alcohol back to the top of the still. Excess mixture will keep coming on down. When you get it to the bottom, your grainy portion is for your dairy farmers. Your liquefied portion is your starter for the next batch. The alcohol will pass through a condenser at the top of the still, come back to a liquid form. It will be coming over here to the first copper tail box at 120 proof, 60% alcohol. It is called low wine stage. We don't put it in the barrel at this stage because it has quite a bit of impurities. We want to take the impurities off. We do that by sending it into the basement to a smaller still called the doubler. It would then come back up to the second copper tail box. It would flow off at that time at 130 proof, 65% alcohol, and it is called unfinished whiskey. This is what they refer to in the old days as white lightning, the moonshine stage. Now we don't put it in the barrel at this stage. We take natural spring water, bring the proof down from 130 down to 110, and then it goes in the barrel to 110 for aging to start. Your color is clear though. It goes in the barrel clear, and you gain all of your color of your product from the inside of the barrel from the charred wood. We're gonna go back outside. I'm gonna take you to the aging warehouse, and then we're gonna go to the bottling. This is a small aging warehouse. This one only has 4,000 barrels on the inside. Our larger warehouses put up to 20,000. We have 12 aging warehouses altogether. They're all left 1/3 empty on the inside. That is for the process of rotation. Rotation is where you allow enough room to move these barrels around by levels so that they all get the same amount of heat and ventilation. There's no heating. Reaching 90 degrees on a summer day, the top section reaches 130. Start all new barrels at the top section. They stay for 2 summers straight. Then they come down to lower sections at that time. The other distilleries in the area don't do this process of rotation anymore because it is very time consuming and it does cost us a lot in labor to continue it. The barrels that we use are a new 53-gallon white oak charred. We've gone to the Bluegrass Cooperage in Louisville, Kentucky. Only use the barrel one time, then they're resold to Scotland distilleries, and they'll use the barrel again there to age Scottish whiskey inside the barrel. Your barrel comes in rolling, no lifting once they've been filled because they weigh over 500 pounds apiece. Elevator's going to take it up to the top. When they get to the top, there's a ricker up there. A ricker is a hydraulic lift that has arms that picks it up, cradles it, moves it over, and sets it down for us. The barrel's going to hold 53 gallons, but due to evaporation, leakage, and rotation, you could lose a possibility of 13 gallons per barrel as it ages in the building.
They are bottling today. They only bottle 4 days a week.
At the beginning here, it's going to flip it over, and the bottle will go down and sit it right side up. Then our empty bottle is put on the belt above, and it's fitting it to the end. And at the end, we're going to put the finished product back inside that box that it came out of. The bottles, what happens is they go through a cleaning process down there. Tubes go down inside the bottle, and the bottle is air out to get this particle and that particle. Don't waste this product at any time. After it's been filled, it's going to come and get a cap. It's a plastic screw cap that we use after the cap of product. The labels are sitting in the plate above, the plate glues on the bottom, a blue roller is picking up the glue, clean plate comes up, gets the label glue goes on the back of it, and then pull it up and put it on the bottle. And then as you walk past, you're going to see 2 arms coming in and tugging the bottle. They are filling the label to the bottle. The first one puts it in front and back. The second one's going to hug it on the side. Put it into the machine. It wraps a piece of tape around where the cap and the bottle join. This gives you an opening once you have your wax on the bottle. The bottle is then going to come down and get a government warning going on the back of the bottle. The person there is checking that bottle, making sure that label is sealed correctly and the pull tab is out. Then we do the wax. The wax has a plastic base to it. It's melted down in the large unit here at 350 degrees. This comes over to the 2 small units. 2 people dip for each hour. Each person wears goggles, gloves, and an apron. Each person has to hand dip 23 bottles a minute, 46 for both of them. 1 bottle for 3 seconds, and if you get burned, it causes a 3rd-degree burn. At the end of the line, they're hand packaging the product at the very end. If anybody would like a label, there's some sitting on the step there. Help yourself to a label.